9 tips for home buying during this coronavirus pandemic. Hey there, my name's Emily Farber and I am a realtor with Lepic Crager Realtors in a wonderful Iowa City, Iowa. Today's video, 9 tips for home buying during the coronavirus pandemic. When we talk about the basic necessities of life, food, clothing, and shelter, none of those things go away during a pandemic. They are all still there, still present, and still basic needs for every human being everywhere. Just because we've all been told to shelter in place, stay at home, and socially distance ourselves from others doesn't mean that people's need for a house necessarily goes away. Hey, I bet there were a lot of you out there who were thinking, this is going to be the spring for me. I am buying a house this spring. And then pandemic hits. Who would have thought it? It's crazy. The coronavirus pandemic hit the US during the time in which our real estate market traditionally really heats up, that spring selling season. There are a lot of people who have dropped out for this spring, but not everybody. So I want you to ask yourself these 3 main questions. First off, are you very confident in the security of your job? Second, do you like the current low interest rates? And third, do you like the idea of less buyer competition? If you said to all 3, then this may still be the spring buying season for you. Hey, if you're ready to find your own front door, but you have questions about the home buying process, be sure to download my free home buyer's guide. I'll leave the link for that in the description box down below. If you're wondering where exactly that is, if you're watching this video on your phone, all you need to do is tap the title of this video. Number 1, expect to only look at houses that you are very serious about. Your agent will likely tell you to go drive past any home you're interested in to scope out the neighborhood. And then if you still like it, your agent will probably give you video to look at. And after you've looked at that video, then and only then will you be given the opportunity for an in-person showing. Number 2, speaking of being serious, I know we hammer on this all the time as real estate agents, but for the love of God, you have to be pre-approved. No agent wants to take an unqualified buyer out, and no seller wants to let an unqualified, potentially germ-ridden buyer into their house. You must be able to provide that pre-approval letter, and if you're not using a pre-approval letter, you have to be prepared to provide proof of cash for any purchase. You must be a qualified and ready to go buyer. Number 3, expect to encounter some properties that may not even allow you an in-person showing. Say what? You may have to be satisfied with video, photography, or 3D home tours of that property. And if after those opportunities are presented to you, if you are still convinced that this is the house that holds your heart, you might just have to write an offer sight unseen. I know that sounds really scary for a large purchase, but people do it. Your agent can write a contingency into your contract that gives you the opportunity to view that house in person before you are 100% committed to the purchase. Number 4, your agent is likely going to tell you that only decision makers can attend in-person showings. This means that your children may not be able to go with you, and I realize that childcare can sometimes be a problem. So if you and your spouse have nobody who can watch your kids, you may have to flip-flop who's sitting in the car. One adult goes in, the other one sits in the car with the kiddos, and then vice versa. This is also not the time to bring along your friend who is a contractor, and it is not the time to bring along grandma and grandpa. I am sorry, all of those people will have the chance to look at the house later once you own it. Number 5, those highly coveted in-person showings are becoming very coordinated events. Don't be surprised if the listing agent calls up your agent with some questions about you. How's your health? Are you showing any signs of COVID-19? Have you been traveling lately? things like that. Sellers are nervous and they want to get a feel for who is coming into their safe space. You may be asked to wear a face mask. They're the new fashion statement, don't you know? You may also be asked to wear gloves and booties, not to mention sanitizing your hands when you enter and exit the house. Additionally, once you are inside the house, your agent is going to stand about 6 feet away from you, which can seem a little bit weird, but that's just the way of social distancing these days. You'll probably be asked not to touch anything in the house, and your agent might have to remind you, like a mom to a little child, please put your hands in your pockets so you don't touch anything. Your agent will be the one to flip on any lights, open any doors, and open any cupboards for you. Hopefully, the listing agent has already talked to the seller about totally preparing the house, so there really is no need for you or your agent to touch anything. Number 6, if you do find a house that you love and you want to write an offer on it, yay, be sure to ask your agent about a COVID-19 addendum. These addendums are becoming more common throughout all different kinds of real estate markets, and it gives you an additional layer of protection for COVID-19 related things like job loss or the need to extend deadlines within your contract. Number 7, if you do get an accepted offer, don't expect everything to suddenly proceed as normal. It may take longer to get to the closing table. There's a lot of people involved in a home purchase transaction that you as the buyer don't necessarily know about or see, but all of these different people are working under different conditions now, like everybody. There may be skeleton crews or people may be working from home, so expected delays are the norm. Number 8, you may not be able to attend your home inspection. Your home inspector may be offering only video conferences to review the home in addition to that comprehensive written report that he or she provides upon completion of the home inspection. Additionally, many parties are finding it more advantageous to offer cash in lieu of remedy when it comes time for the remedy repairs. So rather than having a HVAC contractor, an electrician, and a plumber walking in and out of the house, in order to limit everybody's exposure, buyers and sellers are finding that cash in lieu of repair is the way to go right now. Number 9, once you finally make it to the finish line, closings are looking very different. Here in the Iowa City area, the only people allowed to attend the closing are the lender and the buyers. The agents must drop off all documents and any necessary materials beforehand, and we can't sit there at the table with you. If the idea of that makes you feel really nervous, be sure to talk to your agent beforehand. I'm sure that a solution can be figured out. Some examples are your agent could be on FaceTime or Zoom, virtually attending the closing with you, or your agent could be on a conference call. That way your agent would be able to answer any questions you might have as they come up during the closing. Hey, if all of this seems like just a little too much, there is nothing wrong with taking a wait and see approach. But be aware that some experts out there are predicting that this is going to create quite the pent-up demand for buyers once this coronavirus pandemic settles down. So if you do decide to take that wait and see approach, you may find yourself with some stiff competition once everybody is out and home shopping normally again. Hey, thanks for joining me on today's video. I would love a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that red subscribe button and the bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time I put out a new video. Stay safe, friends, and be well, and I will catch you next time.